What do you
How
make
about
of
you guys?
this almighty mess? Because I'm finding it pretty hard to get my head around.
I think when we obviously spoke when we seen it for the first time, we agreed that it just looked absolutely shocking. The initial decision that was given out for it. B, then to be called across. And I'll always say that the referee does have the right to keep his own view, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that make the final decision. So she stuck it with. Then for the SFA to come out with a comment immediately afterwards and then retract it, there was no way that this could ever have won. No way.
Does that make, because look, do you know what I'm very kind of wary of, kind of going down the old conspiracy theory avenues, because Scottish football doesn't need these things. They certainly don't need to be promoted. There's enough of them that grow arms and legs. But I do see, and I have seen since the weekend, a lot of kind of Rangers fans suggesting that they're getting more than their fair share of these decisions. I'm not buying it. There's no conspiracy against Rangers, but this really doesn't help in terms of your guys, Des, when, you know, honest mistakes and all that. This one, it's just so difficult to explain. As I said, I was saying to Scott, it was almost as if to me, he was desperate for his decision to be correct and desperate to be able to prove it was correct. And so he looked a few times at the replays and thought he saw enough to vindicate the decision, rather than concentrating on, you know, what's the real actuality of this incident. He's almost used the replays in the wrong way to try and justify producing the red card.
I think the difficulty that for all of us is that we never really get a good view of the replays that he was shown. And this is another reason why for a long time that we've tried to vindicate, and I know they're now going to be trying it in Germany, is let's hear the conversation from VAR. Let the referee explain it. It will only take 5 seconds. I'm given a penalty for this or that. In this case, it would have taken nothing to say red card rescinded, violent conduct gone, and just going down for unsporting behaviour, because there's nowhere in the laws of the game can support a red card for that decision. And Grant Holt wasn't cautioned for obviously the throw that he had. So yeah, it's not a very good look, and I'd like to I would feel that Willie Collum won't be best pleased at this moment in time.
No, and it's just another one that lands on his plate, and he has to try and explain it now. He has been very good at fronting it all up, Des, hasn't he? He's come out, he's communicated well, but I wonder as well, because Nick Walsh might be the next one to get himself thrown under a bus here. Because it's very hard for Willie Collum to, you know, sit there in front of a camera and factually explain what the decision-making process that made Nick Walsh decide to stick to his guns. Really difficult.
Nick's our number one referee, the guy that gets all the big appointments. So I was quite surprised that Nick jumped in there so quickly. The evidence was there for everyone to see. It was not a red card. There was nothing there to support that decision. How he's went down that route, I have no idea. I think it was Don who was fourth official. Don's obviously seen something sufficient enough to get him across. He was almost trying to bail him out there.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah,
they never took that lifeline.
Tell me this, Des, and thank you very much for joining us at the last minute. But in terms of what we saw previously after the League Cup final, when a couple of the guys were told to take the weekend off, are we in a position that Nick Walsh can be told to take the weekend off?
I think you've already heard Willie say at the start of the season that guys will be held accountable for decisions making the field of play. And it may be a case that Nick drops down to a championship game or whatever. My personal feelings is he'll try and support Nick as much as he can. And maybe you'll see him in a Premier League game this week as VAR or as fourth official. And then maybe the following week, maybe down at a championship. It would be... listen, if a player makes a bad decision in such a high-profile game, then they would expect to be dropped for the next match, and that's why we get the appointments on a Tuesday now. So, they give themselves that wee bit of time. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
Des, do you know how it works in terms of the actual practicalities? No, what happens next with Nick Walsh and Willie Collum? Does he go in? With he went into Hampden yesterday? No, when do they get together? When does Willie Collum sit the officials down and say, look, we're going to go over the weekend, or is it done individually? Do you know how that whole process works?
From what I like to believe, I know the way we used to have it. We used to have a monthly meeting together, the Category 1 referees, and they would have that there. Now, obviously, the referees aren't full time here. Nick's got a busy job as a teacher, so it'll be difficult for him to also just drop things a day. But I'll guarantee that they've had discussions Sunday night, Monday night, probably tonight as well. They'll have discussions. That's the way Willie will want it. So yeah, there will be this. This won't be blown over. It will be addressed, and I think what they'll use this is use it as a training tool. They have their next get together and show it and explain exactly why it was never an order of offence.
That's the problem though, is that we've had a similar incident with Casey and Armstrong at Firth Park, and Willie Collum said, "No, this can't happen. Here's the protocol. Here's what should have happened," and yet it's happened again. That's a disappointing thing, is it not?
I think the thing with Casey was there was more obvious contact.
Yeah, you
could see because he usually grabbed the player by the shirt and it's went up. This one there is just no contact on the player. So this is the harder one to justify. But as you quite rightly said, it's the inconsistency between the two of them. And while you get humans being involved, you'll never have 100% consistency. Certainly not up here.
Des, listen, thank you for joining us at such late notice tonight. That was really kind of you to jump on. It is great to get your sort of kind of expert view from the official side, but you know, I don't think you've really cleared anything up, if you don't mind my saying. I'm still as confused as I was when you came on.
I don't know how we can make this clearer. The clearest bit is it was a monumental error from Nick, who was offered support. So the blame, and it's not about apportioning blame, it's trying to apportion reason. The only person that would be able to tell you this reason is Nick Walsh himself, because Don Robertson's got him across saying, I don't think that's a red card. Here's your opportunity. He's chosen not to take that.
He's doubled down and he's put himself in a bit of a hole because of it. Des, thank you so much for joining us, and our resident referee will be back again shortly, no doubt, because I think they're picking up a bit of momentum now with these refereeing decisions, isn't they?
I'd rather see them getting them right.
Right, Des, listen, thanks again, man.